I sensed you there.
You look so cute chopping away on your own.
On my own?
Well, you did.
On my own, yes, on my own.
I've been busy.
Yeah.
I have to be quick here. I'm going to grab these flowers before Neil chops them all down. You're supposed to be my husband. You're supposed to bring me flowers, not put them in the compost. So, stage one is to chop the dahlias down.
Just to below that wire. Yeah.
Go on, the next bit then.
And then what I'll do is I'll lid them in case it rains.
Yeah, keep
and
them
I
nice
don't
and dry.
finish.
Yeah.
And I don't work in rain.
No, quite right too.
But this bed is completed, so I've chopped them all to ground level.
Let me come in.
See?
Wow.
Weeded it. Oh, see that? Forgot that one. And then I put the lids in, and that's it for winter though.
Absolutely fantastic. So over here we have got our compost bin. Now this is dahlia foliage only because it rots down so much more slowly than regular garden waste. You can of course chop down the stems much smaller. The smaller you chop them down, the quicker they will rot, but Neil hasn't got time for that. So what he's done is created a dahlia only compost bin for this time of the year. So we can leave them on their own so they don't slow down the general compost bins, because we will need that for next spring. And in about March time, when I've used up the other compost, we can then start mixing this in with the general compost waste, and we'll have grass clippings by then as well, which is a hot rotter. So that will really help break this material down. So just until March, they'll stay here on their own, start rotting off, and then we'll mix them in with the general compost waste later on. It does look like a very pretty compost bin though, doesn't it? I have managed to save some of my dahlias from Edward Scissorhands. Stop him putting them in the compost bin. Look, there's nothing wrong with them. Perfectly beautiful. So I've got these, and then if I step back, you can see that the garden is starting to look quite empty. These are our hoops that we use for the dahlias in the top garden, all stacked up. It's our little garden installation for the winter. I love it. The birds just jump all over it. You can see it from the sitting room window. It's like a little aviary. So they are going to stay there for the winter. And then up here in the top garden, the dahlias have been lifted. We don't wait for the frost anymore, because we found that not only does it not make any difference, but waiting for the frost makes it a mucky job. So we've lifted all the tubers. Look at those canes. He will tie those up with string and then put them in the shed for overwinter, just to make sure that they don't perish in the cold and they last us for yet another year. So next I will show you where the dahlias are. And then here in the polytunnel, you can use a garage. We always use a tunnel because it's empty and available to us, but we like to dry the tubers properly before storage. We hang them in these bags probably for about 7 to 10 days. Obviously just use your common sense and keep checking them. I've got some here on the floor so I can explain to you properly. So all of this soil around the tuber is soaking wet, especially if they've been in pots. It's been so wet that the tubers are actually overly wet at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll leave them here until this surface has dried off. There's one over here which is looking a lot drier, and then what will happen is all the soil will start to drop off, and then the worms, if there's any worms in here, they can escape back into the ground, and then we will turn them until the other side's nice and dry. Then we can hang them in the bags. We won't have too much soil, but it does tend to drop through. So if I touch that, you can hear the soil just dropping through the bag. So I'll sweep the floor once we're finished with the drying process. You can see here, this one is slowly losing all of its soil, but you can see it does still look quite wet. We've got some more over here, and the label just sits so lovely in the bag, it doesn't drop out. Oh, and I've also got a bonus anemone that has come back from the spring. Lovely, I shall leave that here. Hopefully that will open a bit more and I can take that inside. So over here are some tubers that we started a bit earlier. So these have had longer to dry, and you can visibly see the difference. There's hardly any soil left on the tuber now. They feel really firm. You don't want to leave them in here for too long. The doors are wide open as well because we're just drying them, and it's not freezing cold at the moment. Don't let them over dry because then they'll shrivel up and prune, and you could lose your tubers that way. So once they're finished drying, we will then store them, and I have got so many videos on my website on exactly how we store our dahlia tubers. So I will put a link up in stories to take you straight through to the Dahlia hub with all my videos, where you can find out all the answers to anything that you want to know. I just thought I'd take this opportunity to show you where the Dahlia video hub is. So this is my website. All you need to do is just scroll down a bit. There's loads of videos on here for you, and you'll come to Dahlias, all the videos. So all you need to do is just tap on the screen. The page will open, and then if you scroll down, you can see all of the Dahlia videos are here for you to watch whenever you like. I'll add this video to the hub so that you have them all together in one place.